everyone, and welcome to NorthStar Physical Therapy Podcast. I'm Dr. Shirlea North, and thank you all for returning listeners as well as new listeners. Thank you so much for your support. This podcast, I'm going to be a little selfish with this one, just doing a little self-reflection because October is such a special month for me in so many ways. First and foremost, I started treating my first clients of NorthStar Physical Therapy in the month of October. So we turned 3 years old. I can't believe that I went into PT school thinking I would never be a business owner. That's for the birds. There's so much work involved. I don't have a business sense. But as being a clinician for over a decade, I started seeing the pros and cons, what's a good way to run a business, what's a bad way to run a business. And I'm like, you know what, dang it, I can do this better myself. And got connected with an amazing business mentorship group. And they just have really fostered and helped me guide the way. I still have my business coach that we meet on a regular basis. And it's just such a blessing. And by starting NorthStar Physical Therapy and with the support of listeners like you, we are really helping spread the mission of NorthStar Physical Therapy, and that is to provide expert, compassionate care to all adults with pelvic and lymphatic conditions by fostering self-awareness, by the resolution of symptoms, and promoting independence, and then ultimately achieving optimal health. So I'm just so excited that I've lasted this long. It is really freaking hard to be a small business owner, especially, coming out of COVID and with all the changes in the healthcare system that has occurred, with all the changes in the government that has occurred. I'm right outside the DC area in Northern Virginia. So it's been, this year was a little rough in the beginning, but just so much growth. This company started with an idea like, damn it, I can do it better. And I want to be holistic in my care. And I wasn't able to do that with a practice that was insurance-based. And so really concierge or like cash-based services are really the way to go. And really that's a lot of other healthcare professionals are going that route. So until the health insurance industry has a massive reset, guys, I really think that healthcare is really up to you and your resources, and to get really good care from a good provider, which is always what we're looking for. To go with insurance space for a lot of healthcare specialists are really hard to find because they get so bogged down with insurance demands, paperwork, limitations with reimbursement. And that can be for a different episode, but we want to stay positive with this one. So 3 years ago, I started seeing my first clients. I was a mobile practice in Northern Virginia. So if anybody's familiar with that, I went from everywhere from Warrenton, Virginia to Alexandria to Manassas to Reston to Ashburn and Sterling. I was all over the place. So that's about like 3-4 different counties I listed off. And that's a lot of area to cover. And what I found was I was getting really limited. It was great going to people's homes, but I got extremely limited with the amount of people I could see because I was on the road all the time. And then that bogged down of one of the reasons why I started this. I'm a working mom and I want to be there with my kids during these developmental years. And I can't do that if I'm constantly on the road. So my business kind of morphed into me starting to like sublease and rent like a room from like a midwife company and from a massage therapist that really supported my mission. And I'm forever grateful for them because that kind of showed me like, you know what, I can land some permanent roots. Fast forward a little bit, within that first year and a half, I had 2 other part-time jobs in insurance-based clinics just as I built up NorthStar clientele. And within that first year, I was able to move forward 100% to NorthStar. So there was a lot of morphing that happened. And then a year and a half ago, I found my brick-and-mortar here in 100% NorthStar. So just within 3 years, which may sound like a long period of time, but for those that are business owners, that's a pretty short period of time to morph that much into a mobile clinician, to getting sublease, to having a couple part-times, and then going flipping 100% in brick and mortar within 3 years. It's quite amazing, and I'm just going to boast myself for that, and I just can't believe that here we are. So super excited to be celebrating 3 years of NorthStar Physical Therapy. Take a peek at, my website for those that are looking into the specialties. I specialize in pelvic health and lymphatic health. And that brings us into the next topic for this podcast, that October is breast cancer awareness month, as well as PT awareness month. And it is quite amazing that both of that kind of come together. So not only being a PT, it's like, woohoo, we want to get out there and really know what PTs do. Take a peek at my next podcast for that one. But being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, that is huge within my two client populations. You may say, well, what the hell does breast cancer and pelvic health have anything to do with each other? And a lot of folks that are on the other side, they're going through and on the other side of cancer treatments, end up developing a lymphedema or a swelling within the first 5 years. Is a high risk that's going to occur, as well as sexual dysfunctions or pain. And a lot of that could have been from whatever treatment they received. So they're cancer survivors, that's amazing, but we also want to make sure we're treating these other things. So the cancer might be gone or at bay, and we're on the other side of treatment, which is wonderful. But to treat holistically, I always recommend that anybody going through any kind of cancer treatment, not just for breast cancer, really needs to hook in with a lymphatic physical therapist. And I'm talking about therapists that have a CLT on the end of their name. They're a certified lymphedema therapist. It can be PT, it can be occupational therapist, and it can be a massage therapist. Well, you really need to make sure you have someone with CLT and or LANA. It's just the board certifications of lymphatic therapy, and they really are the gold standard with a variety of treatments that can be done within the lymphatic system. Much like, yes, it's more than just a compression garment. It's more than just manual lymphatic drainage. There's a lot more to that, and CLTs are best to be equipped to know what to do. You also want to be hooked in with a pelvic floor physical therapist after receiving any kind of cancer treatment, because a lot of the treatments are systemic. A lot of them, like chemotherapy, it goes everywhere, right? And so that can really wear down some of the soft tissues. It can cause potentially bladder and bowel issues. And can also cause some sexual dysfunction, like pelvic pain or pain with penetration. And so that's not okay. And so over half of cancer clients end up having pelvic dysfunction. That's an amazingly high number. It's not a small percentage. It's a lot of people. They maybe have some body dysmorphia or some real nervous system issues there as well, going through all the changes they went through. And that is really important, especially for breast cancer. If there was a surgery, there's soft tissue that has not moved. That was really an identity part for those that had breasts, and what the purpose of them are now is taken away, and that can be a huge thing. And with that soft tissue gone, and with any kind of flap surgeries or any kind of scar tissue there in the trunk, there are connective tissue called fascia that is interrupted and stretched and moved. And now that can also cause tension along the pelvis and lower down in the abdomen. That can also cause pelvic dysfunction. There's also the treatments of radiation, same kind of thing. If somewhere in the breast of the armpit was radiated for cancer treatment, again, needed to be done if appropriate, but that soft tissue has now been significantly affected. And it's amazing that if you try to maybe slouch a little bit and you kind of close your arms in, and now your shoulders kind of like really tight, and that soft tissue is really tight. Now I'm trying to do a Kegel in standing. Now I'm trying to do a really good deep breath. Well, what is, our body is all connected. So if there's a soft tissue restriction or tightness in one area of your body, especially in the trunk in the middle of us, that absolutely is affecting the other side. It's absolutely affecting above and below that area of how it moves. Therefore, we start compensating. Therefore, these other symptoms can present themselves. So it's quite amazing how this is all so very connected. And in the month of October, with having Breast Cancer Awareness Month and PT Month, and it's our 3rd anniversary, it's like, oh my gosh, we're going to shout it to the rooftops that pelvic health and lymphatic health go hand in hand. Take a peek at my other podcast when I go into the functions of the pelvic floor and how they also more detail into that. But it's just such an amazing month. October is great. Not only is it beautiful fall weather, but I'm just so excited to be spreading the word of NorthStar Physical Therapy, where both of these client populations actually overlap quite a bit. And you'd be very surprised of, I see maybe people for more orthopedic issues, but I just screen out that pelvic health stuff because no one's ever asked. And I see we're able to treat holistically. Same thing if someone comes in with like lymphedema, lipedema, I'm going to screen out pelvic health things because we want to treat them holistically. I also screen out lymphatic stuff of, if I have someone coming in here with pelvic pain or constipation or urinary incontinence or any other pelvic symptom, even like, no matter where you are in stage of life, I'm screening out these other things because of how many lymph nodes are within the pelvis and how decongestion there can really be helpful. So I'm constantly looking at every client with that holistic approach, and that way we can best give that expert care. We can really be able to have that, promote that self-awareness and resolve all the symptoms and not just put a Band-Aid on top of them, but really be able to treat and find the underlying why we're presenting with these symptoms. And that's what makes NorthStar Physical Therapy just so different. I'm one-on-one with all of my sessions, so I'm able to really provide good, consistent care. I'm hands-on, so it isn't just sitting there chit-chatting, the whole time. We're actually doing a lot of things. I have all my sessions are up to an hour long, so we're really able to take the time. I have some flexibility to do 2-hour-long appointments for people that come far and wide, to see me. But it's quite an amazing environment we've created here in NorthStar Physical Therapy. For those that are really like further away that can't get here in the office, I also offer virtual consultations as well. So we want access to that care and that education. And there are a lot of times where I am just another person on another healthcare provider, part of the team, helping guide either the client in advocacy and or collaborating with the other providers to say, hey, have you considered this, just because of my expertise and thinking outside the box. So thank you again so much. I'm so excited that October is such a big month for me. It's kind of like, happy birthday, NorthStar Physical Therapy. We're 3 years old and to many, many more years of providing this excellent care. And so again, thank you so much for all those that have listened to this, that have supported me throughout the last 3 years, and onward and upward to many more.